Hi, welcome back to Good Enough Photography. It's been snowing recently, so today I am going to show you how to add snow to a photo because, well, not snow, there's snow in this photo, but more like falling snow because it is kind of hard to capture that. I was going to try to do that, but it's just my camera, the snow kept getting on the lens and, it gets all smudgy and then it doesn't look good. So I just took the photo without it falling, so I'm going to show you today how to add it. Now, before we get into that, I am a beginner photographer. I post tutorials on my channel every Wednesday. Well, almost every Wednesday. It's hard to be consistent. I have a TikTok and an Instagram, both at Good Enough Photography. I have a website at goodenoughphotography.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps me out, and I am a small channel. So, let's get into it. So, first, I'm just going to start with my image. This is pre-edited in Lightroom. If you would like a tutorial, I might make one. I already kind of have one, but it's not the best tutorial I've ever made in my life. So, So, this is my edited Lightroom photo. It's like a little berry thing in a tree in my backyard. Most of my photos I take in my backyard. So, first thing that we want to do is we want to add a layer for the snow. So I'm just gonna double click on this and I'm gonna name it like snow. I don't know, you don't have to do that. We would like to go into edit, there we go, and then go to fill because we want it completely black. So opacity 100, mode normal, and we want contents black. You can see down here you can change, we just want complete black. Now, this does cover up your image for now, but you just gotta trust the process, So, then what we are going to do is we're going to go to filters. Now, there's a bunch of filters in Photoshop, but what we want is noise right now. Noise is kind of like when you look like an old photo and you can see like little dots? It's also kind of like a staticky TV, That's what noise is. It also happens if you take like a photo in the dark and then you try zooming in, when you start seeing those colors that aren't actually there. You know what I mean. Or you don't know what I mean. It depends. I don't know. So we're going to go to add noise. So we got some noise going on here. And we want it to be Gaussian, not uniform. We want it to be Gaussian. I don't know. And I'd say, let's see. So as I always said, there's no such thing as a cut and paste tutorial. But there's no such thing as a cut and paste tutorial. You can't just follow the exact values I have. It depends on personal preference and other things, including like how your photo looks, how much snow you want, stuff like that. It just always depends. But I would say let's go for a range of, let's say 10. Let's go from a range of 15 to around 30. Yeah. So I'm going to do 25. It's like in between that. Maybe 20 to 30. Yeah, 20 to 30. Sorry. So I'm going to go with that. I know it looks a little like overpopulated right now, but we'll fix that in a minute. Trust me. Okay, there we go. So we got that beautiful noise layer. So now what we're going to go. Not now we're going to go. Now what we are going to do is we're going to go press edit. And we're going to go to transform because we want to make our our noise larger so that there is more so the noise looks larger. Yay, there it is right there. So, you want to make sure that little a chain icon is like a chain or link or maybe it's a bow. I can't tell what it is, but it's a little icon thing. You want to make sure that is selected because we want these to be working together, So go into this and just type around 400, I would say. Yet again, as I talk about my tutorials, not really cut and paste, but I'd say 400 is I wouldn't go too much bigger than 400. It does depend though if you have a bigger image, but I'd say 400 works pretty well. So what you want to do is click this little check mark right there. Perfect. And that changes our snow. It makes it smaller, but not as small as it was before, but it makes it more balanced. You saw that. It made it more balanced, better. What we want to do is we want to make it into a smart object. So you got to right click on it and scroll down to smart object. Smart object means whatever filters you add can be editable. So you can go back and edit them later without having to like delete them and re-add them and all that good stuff. So now we want to go to this. This is like the blending options. It's usually set to normal on every image, but they each do different things. I'm just gonna scroll through a few so you can see what it looks like. But today we are going to be using the screen effect. See how it makes it's white but gets rid of all the black? So now this is looking more like snow. But it's still not perfect because snow isn't, stationary in the sky. What we'd like to do is go back to filters and scroll all the way down to blur. We would like motion blur, because we're trying to make it look like it has motion. And motion blur kind of drags out the pixels. So, now, this angle is all up to your own preference. Like all my things are. But, it's where your snow is coming from. So, say you do a 65. Nope, that's not even an angle in life. Okay, a 65. That means your snow is coming in from the top right corner. If you do a negative 65, it's the opposite. It's coming from the top left corner. If you do a 90, your snow is completely up and down. And I'm at 90. There we go, 90. I put negative 90. It doesn't change what it looks like. It's just, So, kind of play around with this. A 30, that's like not really realistic. Unless it's really snowy. But then you don't want the snow to be too horizontal. Because if your image... Snow changes directions due to wind. If your image isn't showing that wind pattern a lot, see my image is kind of stationary, so this would be more akin to something where there's a lot of wind, so my berry thingy would have to be moving or slightly like askew. So you gotta watch out for physics, I think, what about a negative 80? Let's see. Maybe I want my angle a little more. Yeah, let's do a negative 75. So, I say that looks pretty good so far, but yet again, it's not done yet. Distance is like how fast it's moving, basically. So if you want, and that can show how your snow is moving. If you want really fast snow, or even something more akin to rain, I could maybe do a rain tutorial if you'd like. But this is more akin to rain or some really fast snow, because it's like, But we want something on the lower side, because we want some fluffy type snow. So I would say, let's say between I'd say between a 10 and 15. I'd say 10. You just don't want it too fast, because yet again, it's with it's the whole wind thing again that I was talking about earlier. So now we press OK, and this little filter mask was made. It's been created, but we don't want that. We don't need that. So just right click on it and press delete filter mask. Now it's gone. Yippee. So now we want a little less snow, because this is a lot of snow right now. And we want it a little brighter, because it is a little dark. I don't think or a little light. It just depends on your image you gotta get. So we're gonna go into images. We're gonna go into adjustments. Then we are going to go into levels. Levels, there it is. So this little slider over here is going to change how much snow we have. So if I go all the way over here, no more snow. See, it's changing how much snow we have. So I think I want to keep on the heavier side, but I want it to be a little more realistic. So, because I would stay at the higher end, because we do want some snow still. I think I'm going to go for like an 11, let's see, maybe a 20, maybe a 15, maybe a 15. And this slider over here affects the brightness of our snow. See? So what we want to do is we want to find a good balance. And we can always adjust this too. You can also always move this so you can see your image better. So there is no set values on this, so you just have to wing it a little bit. which is always a little annoying, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do to make an image that looks okay. So, yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. Yet again, it just depends on what you want. So next, what we're going to do, I feel like that's a little much. We can always edit it later. Or right now. Because I don't like it. Sorry. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist if you can't tell. That's way too little snow, Jesus. What if we do a 20, you know? Yeah, I can roll with it. I can roll with a 20, not roam. So now I'm going to duplicate this layer. And I'm just going to name this one Big Snow. Because what this is we are going to make snow that is closer to the camera, to the viewer. Because if you are taking a photo of snow, there would be some that is closer to the lens, even some hitting the lens. So, what we want to do with this one is, first, we want to rotate it so it's not identical. Because if they're just sitting on top of each other, you know, it's kind of like, it looks weird because, you know, why would it be sitting on top of each other identically? So, you know, we're going to go to edit, and we're going to go to transform again, come on. And we are going to go to rotate 180 degrees. Perfect. So now it looks like we have a lot of snow. So, what we're going to do is we are going to go to filter and go all the way down to pixelate. This is going to make our snow larger and more like, it's going to make it larger. I don't know. So pixelate, we're going to go to crystallize. Now, in crystallize, you can change what it looks like. Change the size. So you can go all the way big like that. You can go like that. Now, I'm pretty sure, yeah, this does not have a live preview, sadly. So we can only see what's happening right here. We can't see what's happening, you know, in the actual image, which is a little annoying, but it's fine. So, I think, let's go for somewhere in between the 10, 20 range. I don't know. Maybe more, maybe less. Yet again, it's just personal preference. Let's try a 15. It is a smart filter, so we can always go back. I just have it closed right now. Okay, I'd say that's not looking horrible, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I can edit it later. So now what we want to do, because these snowflakes just became non-motion. A lot of them are like, you know, just these weird crystal chunks right now. So what we want to do is we want to add motion to them. We're going to go to filter, and that's view, and we're going to go to blur, and we're going to go to motion blur. And so yet again, I would just kind of keep what you had before, like angle-wise. I wouldn't change the angle again, but I would change distance. I think for this one that we should have a higher distance because they're bigger. So if they're closer together, it looks kind of weird. Because then it's like, you know, more snow. And I just feel like it looks better if you add more distance. Like more blur because it is closer, I feel like, you know? I don't know. I could just be making stuff up. I'm going to go for a 20 here. Yet again, play around with it. It's your image. Let's see. How's that look? Not bad. Not bad. But we're still not done. Because now what we have to do is we have to go back into image. Back into adjustments. And back into levels. Now remember, this is all in this big snow filter layer we have. So it's the same exact thing, but now we're just trying to make it look more, you know. How much big snow do we want here? You play around with it, but I think I'm gonna go maybe around this range, maybe around this brightness, maybe. If you do this, you can kind of tell where your snow is. So let's see. I feel like that's a lot of snow. Like, I feel like I got too much snow here. I feel like it's muddying the image. So I think I'm going to go back to this one right here. And I think I'm going to select the levels right here. And I think that I am going to lessen up on my snow concentration. And I think I'm going to do the same exact thing. Hello? And I think I'm going to do the same exact thing for Big Snow's levels, but it's first levels, not it's without Big Snow, with Big Snow. Yeah, I think that's looking a lot more snow-like. Now, you could lessen it up on the Big Snow if you would like, because I know the Big Snow does add a little too much whiteness if you have a very white image overall. So I might tone down the Big Snow. I could be saying large snow, but I'm saying Big Snow for some reason. Let's see, maybe we want this actually. I mean, yeah, I mean that's probably more realistic looking. And it does look like snow, which is nice because, you know, it's what we're attempting to create here. It's just the thing is we don't want too much snow. That's why one of the better things is to, if you are trying to take pictures of the snow, to try to take it either after it's freshly fallen or recently. Don't wait until, like, you know, the snow gets all slushy and stuff. Because you want it to look like there is a buildup of snow. Because if it's just, I mean, it could be like a fresh snow, I guess. But it looks better if you have a buildup of snow. I mean, we got 10 inches, so it's a little bit of snow. But, you know, and I think it looks okay. Not okay. I think it looks good. I'm selling myself short. I like it. Now, I think this is my finished product. If you want to keep tinkering around with yours, by all means, keep going. Sometimes I'll keep going. Sometimes I cut things out, and sometimes I'm tinkering for an hour. Even though, I can show you right here, with all the tinkering I just did, look, I have another one right here that I was working on. And look, they look almost basically identical. You know why? Because I'm a perfectionist. And yeah, even though I already tested it out multiple times, guess what? I'm still gonna keep going. Because I need it perfect. So, if you liked my tutorial, check out my other ones. I use no AI in any of my tutorials. And I post tutorials, hopefully every Wednesday at 4. Hopefully, I have a schedule. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you made it this far in the video, comment something down below. And yeah, that's it. So have a great day.